Greetings, kitties! Welcome back to Keepers of the Crypt, our Tales from the Crypt podcast that delves deep into the dungeon of delightful horrors that Tales from the Crypt always had in store for us. We are ecstatic that the show has finally found a streaming home at Shudder. We are thrilled to be rewatching these, re-falling in love with them. A hopefully new generation of people will find Tales from the Crypt and be as influenced by it as we were. Now, before we start a little business, people, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, Misfit Parade, where you can find this podcast, some of our short films, other cool stuff we're doing, including our sister podcast, the Messed Up Movies Podcast. If you love Tales from the Crypt, there's no way you don't love the kind of movies we talk about on the Messed Up Movies Podcast. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Again, subscribe at Misfit Parade. You can also find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find pods. Ratings, reviews, sharing with a friend, all those little things mean so much to podcasters like us. We thank you in advance. Today we find ourselves, we're barreling towards the end.
Was that a run-of-the-mill intro? My bad. Much like Maniac at Large.
Woof. We're running toward the end of Season 4. We are at Episode 10, Maniac at Large, directed by John Frankenheimer, who you probably remember from our discussion of The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Manchurian Candidate.
He's done some movies. He's like a real workman's director, right? Like he gets called in to bring the movie in, right?
He was one of those guys that he's like he's the director that when you talk about like classic Hollywood guys who just like go in and they're like rough and tumble. It's like him and Friedkin are the guys you talk about.
Yeah. What's my budget? What's my schedule? I'll land the plane. What you see in this one is it's well crafted. Right? Like it's got some tension. It's got some oomph to it. It's a well-made episode. The problem with Maniac at Large is the problem that a lot of short horror suffers. There is no fucking universe where anyone, literally anyone on planet Earth, doesn't know it's the mousy new librarian immediately. We didn't think it was Adamant. We didn't think it was what's his name? Clarence Williams, right?
It was Clarence Williams.
The fucking mortician from
there was a 5% chance it was Mrs. Pritchard.
There's no chance. As I say, there's no chance that it is anyone except for Blyth Danner's character, who's just she's just getting the vapors left and right. She's essentially a propane tank full of the vapors. There's no chance it's not her ever. That makes it really hard to sink into the game they're playing, right? They try to play it that the security guard Grady, like, he really weirdly touches her hand at one point. Adam Ant's Pipkin is coming up and telling him about his obsession with the local serial killer and all the crimes he's committed and how all the victims have been men. Maybe this time it'll be a woo man. And you're like, no, it won't. It won't. I get it.
Well,
even Mrs. Danner, it's like, you turned off the phone? She's like, yes, they're distracted. And I was like, nope, not for a second. So, Alex, walk me through, how does one approach telling a story like this that needs tension, that needs surprise and reveal? This is played as a whodunit, that everyone knows exactly who gon' do it.
I believe we call that
how do you approach making that episode?
Well, John Frankenheimer, again, like I said, like to use your plane analogy, this is what I'm going to say. One time I flew into South Dakota, and it was on a really small, like 16-person plane. Never been on one of those before. Will never do it again. Because it's a small plane, the updrafts and all that stuff, like it really takes you for like it will rock you a little bit. You're like, oh my God, like I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this. However, the plane still lands, and that's really that's the key thing here. In terms of Maniac at Large, they pretty much put everything on Front Street that it's not Adam Ant, Clarence Williams, not even Oba Babatunde, like all these actors, these great character actors who show up. Adam Ant, I guess, is more just a musician. I don't know if I would necessarily call him a character actor. But like these really wonderful legacy actors are in this. It's fun tension, but it's fun for me at least because you're pretty much like I'd say like I don't know. What do you think? 30 seconds in? 45? Like, you get a good minute.
The first moment you see her with her big mousy eyes, you're like, yep, that's the one.
So
she's not going to be the big. So I'm looking right now, right? Let's kind of scroll down.
That intro of like, here's the thing. That intro of people who are weird at the library, that's never not happened. Now it's just like more homeless people. But like, yeah. Within the first minute, you're like, all right, cool. So now you're just on the ride.
This is what I'm asking myself, though. I'm kind of scrolling through. And again, it's an episode that delivers the ride you expect. It's bland. It's boring. But the performers are committed.
Sure.
It does. They shoot it well. Like, it does have a little style to it. It's got a little swag,
It's a well-made episode.
Her kind of having the vapors while the red light's kind of blaring, right? Like, there's some moments that I was like, that works. The ending, though, is where I was like, that's where you flex a little more. If we already know that, and, you know, she's already stabbed the lady in, like, this really weird, like, kind of slow old woman fight. And she's just like, I'm just tired of being scared in this town, y'all. I'll have to move again. Oh, I'm so scared of this town. I was like, that moment has to hit a little harder. You got to pull a little more of that Sunset Boulevard out. I'm looking at our rankings, right? One of the weirdest, kind of lamest episodes we have at the very bottom of this is The Reluctant Vampire, which many of you will remember our discussion on that. Malcolm McDowell, was it, right? And in a fucking weird ponytail as like a janitor.
Yeah.
I'm asking myself this. Is that episode dramatically worse or lamer than this episode? This episode, I think you could say, has a little more polish to it, right? More of a classic, like, you know, who did it? Oh, it was me the whole time. Shot better, this and that. Reluctant Vampire is memorable. I'm telling you, a year from now, when you say, hey, remember that episode you did on Maniac at Large? You'll be like, sir, this is an Arby's. Who are you? What's happening? I don't know what you're talking about. I do ding Tales from the Crypt for being so forgettable and bland. And while, again, I don't think there's anything you point to that you're like, this is an absolute failure. Because a lot of Tales from the Crypt episodes, you mostly know the whole story as soon as it starts, right?
Right.
You could argue that, what is it, that Carrion episode, right? Where Kyle MacLachlan is running away from the sheriff and he gets handcuffed to the dead body. We know where that's going. We know that guy's not making it out. But the ride is fucking amazing and memorable. This one is tough because, man, what will you take from this episode long term, do you think, Dandino?
Nothing. Actually, that's.
Is there a scene? Is there a moment?
No.
Give me anything.
I'll tell you. This is what I'll take long term. That season 4 of Tales from the Crypt. I think this is probably the one episode that I would say, and we like this season has not been like the best. Like, I think we can all.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's probably not it's definitely not my favorite season, but I'd say like this episode particularly, and it's weird. It's, you know, Frankenheimer directed it. I think this episode, Maniac at Large, is like the recognition that we're a little long in the tooth for this kind of thing. Like, it is hard because once you've done enough of these episodic, and again, they have all these backstories not even that, though.
to take from.
We're a little far in for it to be like this. I'd say that's what I'd say.
See, okay, that's a great way to put it. If you're this far in, I think you've got to take wilder chances.
Yeah.
Right? Knowing that a lot of those are not going to connect for the audience because you go too bizarre, something like that. Mm-hmm. You can't be like 50-some episodes in, 40 episodes in, and just give us vanilla. The thing that killed me is I was like, this could have been on any show. This could have been a story on a soap opera.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing that made this a Tales from the Crypt, right? There's a certain level of fun and wildness and creativity that you would come to expect that this episode just refuses to engage in, right? That I think is this is an interesting case, and a lot of the episodes we have ranked really bad, they just don't work on any level.
Right.
This one works. We just know what it's doing the whole time, and it doesn't play that game with us. It doesn't acknowledge that we all know, so they have to make it fun as they spoon feed us the reveal, right? It's kind of a Shutter Island, right? I think most people were kind of catching on to what Shutter Island was doing, but it was fun to watch Leo figure it out.
That's what's fun about Shutter Island. And it's taken me like 2 rewatches of Shutter Island to actually want to invest. Like, I remember seeing that in the theater and being like, that was not what I was hoping it would be. But it took me a couple of rewatches to be like, oh, I get it. I figured it out early enough where I can just enjoy the rest of the movie and I don't have to do that anymore. Like,
yeah.
I think that's probably like, I think that's the problem with whodunit now, or this one particularly, because whodunits by their very nature seem a little antiquated in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's a pastiche, and like the way like Rian Johnson does the Knives Out movies. Like sometimes that's just part of the vibe. That's what it's supposed to be.
What does that start with? Who? If it's not great if it's a she done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you, the one thing I'll take from this episode is Erwin Keyes just getting absolute fucking strays. Just like one of the meanest castings ever. There's just
Poor
like,
guy.
hey, can we just get a guy with kind of enlarged features of the face and dress him like an old-timey cat burglar from Batman 66? And he just bangs on the window. She's like, there's a horrified, bulbous face monster at the door. And she's like, yeah, that's the guy that like I toss bread outside to. He's returning his books. And you're like, my God, we know it's her. So we're literally just investing time in her. Like, let's get a character actor out here that we can just completely fucking impugn their physical appearance like there's some kind of modern Quasimodo. I'm sorry, Erwin Keyes. They did you fucking wrong in this episode, brother.
It's unfortunate, yes. Like it's like one of those. You're watching it and you're like, Jesus Christ, he's just returning books, and you're like, this guy.
I will say, if you're returning books, you don't have to make that face and pound the glass.
Sure, I'd say like
there's usually a book slot, sir.
You also though don't need to. You also don't.
Maybe
need
this
to,
is an example where they were all wrong. She was being rude.
You also don't need to lay it on that thick. Like, yeah. I get it. There's a maniac at large. Let's not do the must be a maniac. He looks funny thing. Like, it's just.
Well, also, you're like, if he's been at large, that implies that there's some level of, like, sneakiness to him. Not pounding on the glass with his fucking mouth agape.
Not super sneaky.
It's like, come on. Be nicer to Erwin Keyes. That's what I'm saying. I didn't appreciate that.
Fair.
That's it. I don't think we need to go on too much longer on this episode. Mid, that's what I mean. It doesn't do anything exceptionally bad. It just refuses to engage. And this is a show that never asks itself, what could we achieve? It just had a script and it said, we're just going to get the basics.
We're going to achieve.
It did that. That's it.